Good evening. So this is actually a bit of a weird and awkward adjustment to try to get this set up. So part of the impromptu, and now I'm going to see if I can figure out how to get everything set up the way that I usually would have it. Not using the StreamYard like I usually am. Now we're trying out this other platform. That's why I figured it was a good time to try it out and see if it's actually working this time around. So it's just going to be a little bit of a live stream where I'll try a couple of things. I'm going to try a little screen share and a few things with that. I'll see if I can see the chat and if any of that stuff works. So if you can hear me out there, that would be great for me. Let me know. Otherwise, I'll hang out for a little bit and we'll see. I did send out the link just to in case, but it's not Friday. I didn't misread the calendar. Just trying to make sure I test this because it turns out StreamYard is going to double its price shortly. So now I have to figure out the rest of it. We'll see how that goes. There you go. Carlotta was working here. See, that was extra fancy right there. And I see what you're going with it. I like where your head's at on this one. I don't know. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. I've had a chance to play around with a little bit of. Man, it even counts the amount of time that it puts it on there. That's good. That's pretty cool. It's a lot of extra stuff. I was actually having some fun with it with Eric when we were doing the podcast episode this week, and I was using the same platform. So this is called EV Mux. So instead of StreamYard, it's EV Mux. The problem is that there's a lot of features that it has that are really good, but there's a lot of stuff where it's the same, but it's in a completely different place. So I keep looking around thinking that I'm going to find the stuff where I usually find it, and it's nowhere to be found. I have no idea where it is. So I keep trying to find a button to push some stuff. Comments are in a certain tab. That's fine. The layers, the usual stuff that I'll pull up. You know, this guy right here. It works, but it's in a completely different spot. I have to move over a tab and do a couple of things. It's interesting. I will say that. And for the screen share, it actually works pretty good. I tried it a couple of times to record a couple of videos, and that part of it works pretty good. But the rest of it, I have no idea. I'm still playing around with it, but I figured my StreamYard, I looked at the calendar and I realized, I haven't tested the live stream yet, and the StreamYard is about to roll over on my annual one in about 3 days. So if I don't figure it out, then I'm going to get charged for another full year of StreamYard at the double price point. I'm like, I should probably do something about that. That might be a good idea. Maybe I should try it. So more than anything else, just let me know if there's anything you guys want to chat about. I did grab a couple of things just in case, so I can kind of actually make it into a little bit of a test live stream, but also a video. Kind of get a 2-for-1 on that. As long as the Brady's appear in the same squares, I think we'll be fine. I like it. I like it. I think this is a fair and valid point. Valid point on your part. So yeah, I'm still trying to figure out a couple of these things. I do have the little scrolling banners though. That part works. It's a little different. I can actually have the little AMG scrolling thing there, so that works. It is different. So a lot of the things are different, but I'm still working out the kinks. But that's why I wanted to do a test live stream. So now, that's the only way I can figure out if this stuff's working properly. So let me take a look here. See this one comment here. Good evening, Dom. So look at all that animation. Never been a good test taker. There you go. So Brandon, if you're good, give me a thumbs up. Good evening, sir. How are you?
I am doing okay. Excuse the mess behind me. Things look a little bit different.
All good, all good. How are things? I know you had the anniversary dinner with the missus. You know, you had the day off, so worthwhile. So hopefully you guys enjoyed yourselves.
Yeah, tomorrow's her birthday, so everything's crammed together.
All the things, man. Like this is like somebody who has like a birthday like on December 24th. It's a total ripoff because everything's like within days of each other. It's not cool.
My son's birthday is December 23rd.
Perfect. See, you've got it set on both sides of this. This is perfect. So here's the question though. What do you do? Do you split the presents in half or do you be like you're waiting until the 25th? Everything's on the 25th.
Uh, I mean, obviously he will be 24 this year. When he was younger, I would always make sure to take him to Chuck E. Cheese and stuff to kind of separate the birthday
Sure.
and make it outside of the holiday. Now it kind of all. Well, I mean, my wife's birthday is the 22nd, and a lot of times her birthday gets crammed in with Thanksgiving. This year it's the following week, but many occasions her birthday is on Thanksgiving, like once every 7 years, I guess. So
Okay.
yeah, um, it gets tricky trying to navigate those, but yeah.
Uh, I can imagine that's one where you have to keep an eye on the calendar because things can get away from you. I had the problem where, like, obviously we're both have July birthdays, but I've got a bunch of other
Hmm.
friends in different walks of life that all have July birthdays. So I'm sitting there like, all right, I know there's like 5 of us or 6 of us that have July birthdays. So I'm like, this day is the beginning of the month, the end of the month, the middle of the month. Like, I have to keep thinking about it. Remember, I never can remember the numbers. The numbers are where I struggle. Like, what order is it? Can I remember the order?
I grew up. My mom, my stepdad, and my brother all had March birthdays, so I
Okay.
was the outcast in July. Now, my daughter, my wife are in November, and then my son is in December, so they get the holiday birthdays, and I'm still the outcast in July.
Okay. Okay. I got you. So Carla was saying here, did you choose the anniversary date so you'd be the same age? That is a question.
Um, I'll give you the honest answer for the anniversary date. It was not chosen.
Mm.
Um, I went to work one day at a job I had, and I actually went to high school with my supervisor or whatever, but he came in a really cocky mood. It was a small business, family ran. His daddy was the owner of the company, and he came in shitty because elderly gentleman that worked for us was unable to come to work, and I just didn't like his approach. So I went down the line with him and all of the assistant supervisors and just kind of F you, and I left. Well, my son being type 1 diabetic, and this was, shoot, I don't know, what, I guess my anniversary, this was 8 years ago. This was our eighth anniversary. So 8 years ago, he would have been 16, but he's type 1 diabetic, and we had to have the insurance. And so, in order to get him on her insurance plan, we had to just kind of let the day pick itself.
Hmm.
So,
I see. Getting all
but
sneaky. I see
yeah.
how it is. I see how
So
it is.
the date wasn't chosen. It was, it picked us.
It fit your requirements is basically what you're saying. I
Yeah.
got you.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. All right, so I'll answer the question. So the platform is actually called EV Mux. EV Mux is the one. I looked at a couple different ones. They're like I said, I was actually chatting with somebody earlier today about this. He was asking me like, well, what's how do you feel about it versus StreamYard? Well, I haven't tried the live. I said that's going to be key for me because I do so many live streams that that's kind of important. I want to make sure it makes sense. I like a lot of the features. There's a couple of things that I can do that are actually kind of cool. You can set scenes. So it's similar to OBS in the sense that you can create the scenes and do like a studio mode that is very much OBS type style. It is simplified still to make it a little bit easier for you, but you can set all the elements. You can do it literally to the side, set all the elements, and then transfer it over to your main screen with the live stream that you're doing. So that's actually very cool. The piece that it does well, similar to StreamYard, is that I can send the link. So I can send the link out and you guys can join, and I don't have to get funky with coming up with, all right, so how do I connect you and then position you on the screen? This is the dynamic scene. This is the most StreamYard like. If I add a
Hmm.
third person, it'll just adjust us and do all that without giving me any extra trouble. But I could literally build a scene completely from scratch, put us in opposite corners of each other, put a screen share in the middle of it, and do all kinds of funky things. So it's got a little bit of that flexibility if you want to get fancier, but then you can also use the dynamic if you want to keep it simple, keep it straightforward.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like on my end here as someone joining in, it looks pretty close to the same. The chat is
Yeah,
on the left versus the right.
yeah.
Um, I don't want to click anything and screw anything up. What is this down here that says pin timers? Is that so when Eric does something stupid we could pin the moment of it?
So I think there is that, yeah. And then there's also the chat, and then there's a couple of things in there. So now we got to figure out like, all right, how's this gonna work? Like, so I'm still working. That's why I say like work in progress. I'm still figuring out how to put all the pieces together. I've been doing it the other one so long. It was so easy. I pretty much had everything exactly where I wanted it. I even had to like you know this one, Brandon. I literally had to re-download the podcast intro so I could use it on the podcast
Yeah.
episode because I was like, damn it. I can't re-download it from StreamYard. I literally I'd have to recreate the file because I don't have the file anymore. So I was like, damn it. I just downloaded it. I'm gonna use it. So I was like, all right, fine. Let's figure that one out. It just made me laugh. Real quick, I'll read a comment and then we'll check something here. So Carla was saying, I asked because my parents married the same day before my mother's birthday, so they'd be the same age. My sister, however, married on a leap day, so an anniversary every 4 years. Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting. All right.
No, I like I said, ours wasn't like any. It was unplanned.
If you're good,
for
Brad,
that
you let me
date.
know.
It was more we had been together a while and just had
Sure.
never like set a date or anything, and it was just like, okay, we have to do it, and so it
There
was
you
that kind
go.
of thing. What is
Mr.
up, Brad?
Mr.
Well,
Harlan, thank you for joining us. How are you?
once I found out Eric wasn't able to join, I said I might as well just pop on and say hi to the guys in a nice, peaceful setting. So,
I just figured, listen, I just figured that was appealing to everyone. And plus, like I said, I have to figure out how to pilot this version of the ship. So I had piloted a ship for so long, and now, like, hey, by the way, we're going to move your controls completely around. Everything you were doing before, never mind. It's not going to be like that anymore. Dom here's asking a valid question. He goes, was this a sponsorship opportunity? Look, I would take their money. I'm not going to deny that. I would take their money, no doubt. But no, it's because StreamYard double the price. That's the reason why. I was actually having that
Yeah.
conversation with another gentleman who does a podcast and live stream, and he was asking the comparison of the two. I go, I got to try out the live to test for myself. That's the only way I'm going to know. I do so many live streams. I need that to work properly. That's number one. For the most part, I was able to set it up similar to what I usually do, so it worked. Obviously, YouTube was able to connect to it, so that's good. I can see your comments, so that's encouraging. So that's working. And I was able to get these guys on here without too much trouble. And Brad, I'll tell you one funky thing. I have it set to full screen just to make it easier for me to see everything. But as soon as you joined in and you clicked the link, it actually put me Speaker Brad is available. And I could have just pushed the button there and just added you straight up. But that's why I had you check. I always like to do the thumbs up thing just to check. But I could have literally just pressed the button and just brought you into the thing right away without even seeing you. That's actually kind of a cool feature. I kind of like that one. It just gives me a little notification in the corner when Brad was able to click the link and join in.
is your guys' comments on the left side?
It is on the left
Yeah.
side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't like that. It's confusing.
Brad, this is why I have to test it. I have to put it through its paces because my brain wants to look on the other side of the screen. And it's like, and I have to readjust like I said, everything's in a different spot for my brain. And I've got tabs instead of everything just being, linear. I could just scroll up and down. I've got it in tabs. The comments and everything's in one tab. The layers and things are in another tab. I'm working out the kinks, guys. I'm figuring it out as we go. By doubling price, you mean they switched to Canadian currency? I wish. No, they doubled in
No,
your
it's
Americano.
expensive
They
now.
doubled in your Americano dollars is what they did. It got real expensive real fast. I won't say what. I actually had a discount coupon for StreamYard. I was doing the annual plan, so I was on an annual plan, and it was 200 US for a year, which was fine. And then with the rollover, so if I don't cancel it in the next couple of days, they roll it over for another year, and it'd be like 440, 450 bucks. So it goes from
It's
200 to 440.
Yeah, it's telling me 431.88.
Okay.
And if you have like there's like a plan that you can go up to even higher that's like 800 and some dollars.
Yeah.
And that offers the 4K or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
we
half the
had the same
time,
plan.
half the time the upload speed can't handle 1080. I tried the 1080 the
Yeah.
other day, and I was noticing it was glitching a bit. I actually cranked mine down because the upload speed is inconsistent with the cable. It's like, Eric doesn't do practice, but man won't miss a game. These are facts.
I'm trying to see when mine expires.
Yeah, you got to check the date. That's important. Check your billing because that's going to be key. Yeah, so that's basically it right here. Basically, I wasn't monthly anymore, but I was on annual, which is cheaper, but it would have still more than doubled. And that just wasn't it. For what apparently StreamYard was bought out by a company that will add a couple of features, and I mean literally a couple. They added literally a handful of features. And by the way, the couple of features they added were nice and all, but then they go, okay, we added like 2 or 3 features, but here's your bill, double the price. And I'm like, no. No, incorrect. We're not doing that. Thank you. I appreciate your asking. So yeah, I was out. I was out on that one, Brad. So that's actually, Brad, funny enough, that's something we may have to discuss as well, because for the AMG, you guys are using StreamYard. So it might be worthwhile us checking to see. So right now I'm trying it. I'm going to try it for a couple of months just to see how I feel about it. And if I'm comfortable with it and it works, if the live streams are working comfortably, I'm getting the hang of this quickly. It works well enough, and it's and it meets a couple of different requirements. It adds a couple of features. This one is actually 1080 out of the box if you want it to be. So for you guys, I think you're set to 1080. I scaled mine down so my video doesn't glitch, but it seems to work pretty good. And the overall image should look a little bit nicer. So hopefully it looks better for the rest of you folks.
What does this one cost, Carlos?
So this one, I think they have it at like, if you do month to month, I think they have it at like 35 or 39. The other one had jumped to like 45 or almost 50. So it's still a little bit better. This one is closer to what the month to month would have been on StreamYard previously. So I think it's actually in that same ballpark. maybe a couple of dollars off, but it's closer to it. Let's see here. What did it
I
cost to
don't
grade a card when
know.
you start?
Sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I was to say, what does it cost to grade a card when you started your show? When I started doing videos on YouTube for sports cards, it was $8 for bulk. That was in 2018. I actually had the piece of Brad. You remember when we were doing the PSA Canada? I actually had the piece of paper from Len, from
Yeah.
Len Potty, because he had the piece of paper with all the prices, and we could do $8 bulk from Canada. You know, from the what was AKA PSA Canada at the time. You know, not under collectors, but PSA Canada in quotation marks. But it was $8 US bulk. $8 US bulk. That was the price at that time for the lowest level, and it was
Well,
$99 max value.
when I started SGC submissions, I was charging $8.50, and my price, which was the cheapest price that they would go, is $8. So, all of those that thought I was making bank on it, you can do the math there. 50 cents a card margin with you covering shipping and everything else. There wasn't a lot of meat on the bone. But
I,
spoilers.
I remember so many of those when orders that would come in and you'd make 50 cents or $1. And there was times that I took orders that I know I lost money with the
Yep.
shipping across the border and the broker fees. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, I got to try to fix this. So there's people like, oh, I can get the better price over here. And I'm just like, the margins for dealers are small.
Yep.
That's damn sure.
I actually, it hasn't came back yet. I sent it out end of last month. I sent an order to CGC because I hadn't been great at personal stuff in a while. I was just, keeping it raw and enjoying it. But they were running that 10/10 special, and I am a dealer with them also. And it was actually with the discount and the 10/10 special. It cost me $7.50 a card. And I was like, that's pre-COVID pricing. Like, I have to take advantage of this. So I did send them. I had some stuff that SGC wouldn't do anyway. So I
Right.
just, I was like, hey, I better take advantage of this. So, but
I think that makes sense. But yeah, I think we've talked about it before, and it's actually very funny that we have fun and we poke fun at it. But like indirectly, three different graders are represented here. Obviously, Brad. Before he was beholden to the man, and now Brad is the man. Now he is the one beholding. So it's a completely different world. We've changed so much. But then Bobbles over here obviously does SGC submissions, but also has access to CGC grading. And I joke about it because for me, whatever works for you, man. Well, except for Beckett, we all think Beckett. No, that's just no, just don't do it. Don't do it. We're all out. We're all out. Except for Eric. Eric is into it. Everybody else is out. But otherwise, no, do whatever makes sense for you. Or don't get it graded if it doesn't make sense for you. Don't do whatever works for your collecting purposes. I like CGC because I do like the holder, and I do think the price can be very fair. So if you can get it at the rate that Bobbles can get it at, by all means. For PC cards, knock yourself out. But for some of my PC cards, I have no problem. Like I said, at the expo, I dropped off some cards. I did I submitted 3 cards through the on-site grading. I actually did it. So here's the funny part. So give you guys a little background, and Brad can attest to this. We've got an interesting setup. Obviously, Brad is PSA Canada. PSA Canada is now under collectors. So it's all the same umbrella. But what's interesting is that it's actually advantageous sometimes, depending on the situation. Mileage may vary. There's also partners that work with Brad as part of a network. So I actually did not give my cards to Brad. We left that for peasants like Eric. Then Brad took care of him. Took care of him. But I actually gave it to Luke. And Luke is one of the gentlemen who will go there and he will actually submit it. He's working directly with Brad. So he actually took the cards in. So I didn't have to fill in anything. I didn't have to stand in line. I literally gave it to Luke. He got it in there. And I actually got my cards back before Eric. And I gave it to him a day after Eric gave it to Brad.
No comment.
Yeah.
Hey, for anybody that thinks that this market is stupid, which I was on board with it, but I'm going to be
Sure.
honest, I sent some stuff in. I'm now questioning how big of a market this VHS or video like movie grading is.
Yeah. Right. Right.
So at the same time I shipped off, the cards, I sent a separate package, and I was like, all right, I've been talking about this. Let's try it out. So I sent in 3 VHS and 2 Betamax, and same day shipped them out. Let's just say my video grading has been sitting there for over 2 weeks and hasn't been received in the system. And when I inquired just to like, hey, did you guys get this? Because the cards are like in grading now and all, and I'm like, the hell's going on? They replied and said, we have. We had it was basically we got a large number of submissions and we're behind. And I'm like, how big is this market right now? Because how hard is it to open a box and do some like, VHS tapes or DVDs or whatever? But it must be popular, or they have one guy running the show. Because I don't know.
Who did you
But
send
it's
them to, Brent?
CGC.
Oh, to CGC.
Yeah, it like say separate packages because they're to the same address, but you have to put them
Yeah.
the home video or the card grading, whatever. Same time, shipped them out. Separate packages, same day, and they arrived like I think 2 days apart, which I can't explain how that happened, but yeah, the video grading has been sitting there for 2 weeks and not even received in the system, but the cards are already received in. They're over saying they're in grading and all this, and I'm like, I would have expected to be opposite, like,
Look,
but
look, Bobbles. First of all, I already gave you my theory. You're claiming
you
that they
did.
haven't
You gave
checked
a
it
good
in.
thesis.
I know for a fact. That you were not kind. You did not rewind, and they can tell. So they're like,
Yeah.
no, we're not even dealing with this until that's resolved. And secondly, I may have some sources. I was able to have some conversations behind the scenes, and I was shocked, and dismayed. And Brad, like this is the kind of thing that if PSA gets into this market, you need to prevent this. You cannot allow this kind of thing to occur. I have it on good authority that someone, their name rhymes with Derek. I think they sent pallets of Emmanuel in space, and that may
Ooh.
be clogging up the works and preventing other VHSs from going through. Allegedly, but I have a very reliable source that I trust.
I'll go with it.
I did. I did see a post on Facebook that somebody sent like, I think it was like 39 tapes in, and this was in the sports card nonsense group, which I thought was
Sure.
brilliant.
Yeah.
But they sent like 39 tapes in. I think it was like $1,300 and some dollars in grading fees, and they posted a list of everything, and to each their own. But I really think they were paying to try to sell them, and I was like, oof, that's not going to go well.
Now,
But
here's a question though. They only grade sealed VHS, right?
I think they'll do open.
Really? Oh, that'd be
But
funny. That'd be hilarious. So I don't know if you were ever here.
I think
I don't
they
know if you were
do
ever here,
open, but
Brandon.
I don't know for
I
sure.
don't know if you were ever here when I gave the story. One of my many, I've had two distinct parts of my career. The early part of it where I worked a variety of different types of jobs, a lot of retail, call center, a lot of those things. Well, during that portion of my career, one of the things I worked for a liquidation store, and they did liquidation DVDs, CDs, even HD DVDs. If you guys remember the HD DVD, that was kind of fun. Although some of them were like dual. By the way, if you got the right ones, they were dual DVDs and HD DVDs. I actually had a dual Blu-ray and HD DVD player, but VHS, we had an entire section of VHS. We had pallets and pallets, tractor trailers full of pallets worth of VHS tapes. And they were lined by, and we'd have a bunch of folks that would come in and they'd buy like 50 or 100 at a time. And I asked one guy one time, I just said to him, it's like, what do you do with them? And he's like, oh, I've got one of those players. If I go in and I can actually put in the player and convert them all to DVD. So he would buy the VHS tapes for 50 cents a piece. And if he went and bought a bunch of bulk, we'd be like, yeah, you can have them for like 35 cents a piece. Just take them. And he'd grab like 100 at a time. Well, he could convert them to DVD, so he would use that DVD thing, and that's what. And you could buy a spool of DVDs really cheap. So for him, he'd just convert the movies into DVD. But I could imagine a guy like that if he's still with his stack of VHSs goes and clogs up the work at Beckett or at the CGC for the VHS, it'd be the worst. Bobby, if you're good, just give me a thumbs up. Good evening, the Burrell in the Garage of Knowledge. How are you?
Very good, very good. I tried to get it
Excellent.
on my computer, but it wouldn't work for some reason. So I had to go back to my phone. So
Well, we were curious. We were actually curious. So it's funny. I was talking to Eric when we were testing it for the podcast. We weren't sure if it would work with the phone as well because obviously we hadn't had the chance to
oh,
test it.
so it works wrong. It works
Yeah,
well for the phone. So obviously,
seems to, yeah. So Carla was just saying, does the lack of a change at Beckett make more sense now that we've learned their owner's in legal hot water? Well, in fairness, he's been in legal hot water for a while. But yes, I think it's fair. Here's second question here is like, will they grade a VHS in a Blockbuster case? Is it too late to return the tape? These are valid questions.
I don't think they'll
Valid
do the
questions.
Blockbuster case. I don't think they have a holder for it.
and there are
That's a shame.
likely no refunds.
Mm-mm.
They
No
have,
refunds, no exchanges.
they have some lawyers to pay for.
That's right.
This camera, like, it's definitely way more high def, right? Like,
Well, yeah. Well, with this one, so Brad, out of the box, this one comes in 1080. You can actually have the full resolution. The other one topped out. So we've got you got different levels that you can get the different plans. Well, the other one and the same thing with AMG. We top it out at 720 because for the most part it wasn't worth it for us to pay any extra
yeah,
to do 1080. But this one is 1080 out of the box. So
like
if you got 1080 camera, it's higher def.
like Bobby, you look like high def. It almost looks like you're protruding, like, yeah.
He's 3D. We might have to get the 3D glasses.
You almost look 3D on my screen.
Valid. See?
Yes. Well, that's good. That's a lot better. Seems well. I guess obviously that's much.
Oh, now you're froze.
See? But now Bobby's Needham mug is in 3D. It's important. I'll read Bob Jackson's comment. Good evening, Bob. I got a question. Bought a card via eBay that is a COMC consignment. Card has multiple dents on the front and in a penny sleeve. Top loader and mailer is fine. What is your course of action? So so you got it through COMC assignment. You're still buying it on eBay. So you do have the right, you do have the ability to get refund and everything should still be fine. I think you can I don't know who's in charge of their COMC consignment thing for shipping, but you can probably reach out to the seller and just say, "Hey, I got a problem with the card," especially if it doesn't show on in the image. But otherwise, they're like a regular eBay seller, consignment or not. They're a regular eBay seller, so your course of action is the same. Just I would throw it out there that since it is through eBay, the COMC has to meet the same requirements as any other seller to maintain their power seller status. So they have to respond or whatever it is, whether it's give you a refund or communicate with you in some way. But the course of action, I think, is exactly the same since it's still through eBay.
What do they list their cards at, condition wise, though, for COMC?
It'll depend on the item. I think a lot of them they'll do near mint and above, but they do sometimes pick something else, especially if it's like a thicker card and the edges are dented or something. They have to use the same drop down as everybody else. They're supposed to anyway.
Well, like a lot of the consignment places I know dealing with the eBay authentication program, I'm learning this as you go. A lot of them are excellent and above. So, when you look at Slab Sharks in Canada, they list all their cards that aren't graded as condition excellent or above. So that means when it goes through authentication program, as long as the authenticator feels like it's going to be a 5 or above, then it passes through the authentication process. So I don't know, COMC, because then there's no return, there's no returns on that. Right? Same.
Yeah, that raw scale thing was pretty. I get the purpose because eBay was dealing with it so much, especially during the pandemic. But there are so many ways around it. Like you said, you can just put something at a low grade and say all of our raw cards are this or better.
Yeah.
Without specifying exactly what it is. It's either a 10 to a 3, and that covers everything. So yeah, it's very likely that a lot of them are doing that.
Makes sense. Call out here is saying, I'm getting used to the animation on this too and everything. Is anyone else getting eBay items delivered days before they actually arrive? This tracking seems phony to me. If it's through eBay, the envelope and everything, it's like that means nothing. You have no idea. It'll say delivered, and it's like, where is it?
Right. So I just seen Bob. So if it's listed as near mint, so could that card still grade a 7 or better with some surface dents?
Yeah. And
Possibly.
they also have, by the way, if you're ever curious, on eBay, they actually have a definition of what they consider to be near mint. You can click the little, I think it's an eye icon,
Right.
and it'll tell you what they qualify as. And if it doesn't meet that, you might have a conversation. But for the most part, I'll be honest, especially if it's a low dollar item, a lot of times if you reach out to a lot of these sellers, they'll be like, yeah, either A, send it back, or B, we'll just refund it for you. So they're at that point, they're also, because it's not a high dollar item, they're not interested in fighting you on it necessarily. If it's something that can be quickly shown, it's like they'd rather just make you satisfied, at least give you some compensation.
Yeah. Yeah, near mint is 7.
Very good.
I like it. Well played. Yeah,
I'm,
it is a 7.
yeah, I'm learning a bunch of stuff from the authenticators. It's been an interesting to work directly with them. So
Yeah, for sure.
not as much as I learned from Bobby, our wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, the man is in the garage of knowledge. The man is in the garage of knowledge. Recognize.
Which I sure do appreciate. So I will thank you, Bobby, for all your assistance at the expo, and I truly appreciate it.
Brad, have you cracked all of the Topps Chrome update that you're possibly able to get your hands on, so you can get those Pittsburgh Pirates tickets?
No, I wanted to buy some, and I was told absolutely not. I think AMG had 4 boxes or 6 boxes came in, and they limited customers to 2 packs per customer.
Oh, really?
That's all,
by packs?
all
Yeah.
that's all they got. So I was told no, because I wanted to buy a box, and I got the old, you're out. Sorry.
They're including tickets in their packs now?
So that was
that's
the bounty for a Paul Skeens. There's a Paul Skeens card in there
Oh,
that people are
gotcha.
chasing, and the Pirates themselves put together a package of an offer.
Really?
They
No more $500,000 things. It's just tickets.
Well, the
30 years.
The ticket thing is a
Pirates.
30-year season ticket.
Yes,
It's 30 years with the season
that's a long
tickets,
time. Yeah.
Right behind home plate.
Yeah.
Just saying, because I bought 15 years ago, I went to Pittsburgh to watch Crosby with a group of guys, and there was, I'll use the term street people outside one night, and we were quite on
We prefer to call them by the technical term Eric. Go on.
Eric, yeah. And I bought season tickets in 2008, whatever it was. I bought season tickets to the Pirates from a guy who sold me the whole booklet for $100. And so I had 82 games, $100 US. And I brought them home, and they're like, "Why would you do that?" I'm like, "I'm a season ticket holder of the Pittsburgh Pirates. I never went to a game."
As you do.
It felt great. I told that story so many times. $100 got you season tickets back 15 years ago.
And maybe some
So
of
they
those
probably still would
significant
today.
games, and you can sell them in rates.
I was gonna say, what's funny is that I was a season. I told the story to Eric on the podcast this week. I said I was a season ticket holder to the Argos for 2 years, and it actually probably would have cost me about the same as yours, as your situation. I was, but that was so I could get the 100 Grey Cup tickets. My only regret, though, it was a Centennial Grey Cup and everything. That's all good, but like my buddy is the bigger CFL fan, so I was able to get the ticket. They're nice tickets. They were like these plastic tickets. I've still got them somewhere in the office, but they're very nice. These big plastic tickets back when you still got tickets, like real tickets. So it's kind of good. But at the time, because it was a Centennial and people were freaking out about it, I want to say they went the secondary market because I had decent seats. The secondary market was looking at like $1,500 a ticket. And I was talking to the other guys because I had bought tickets for a couple of us, and I just said, are you sure you want to go to the Grey Cup? You sure you don't want to go to like the bar? And I'm like, I'll pay the tab. And they're like, how much are the tickets going for, Carl? $1,500 each.
Yes.
And I've got 4 of them. And you peasants want to go to this trash?
Really?
I was very angry, Bobby. That was the whole time I was stewing in my chair going, I kind of would rather have the $1,500.
That would have been great. Times
Not
4.
gonna lie. Yeah, times 4. Just
Speaking
That's
of
a
Topps Chrome
that's
update and tickets and everything, Bobby might like these. I don't know. I consider them kind of almost borderline trinket category.
ooh, borderline. Okay.
But I've gotten
We're
into a little.
we're about to get fancy. When you're ready, Brandon, you show that, and I'm gonna push a button. We're gonna see what happens together.
Well, I've gotten into a new little market that I just
Oh,
newly
these are
found.
like the VHS cards.
They are movie promo phone cards,
Okay.
Dear God.
and there's like if they've been used, I don't know if it'll pick up on
Yes,
camera.
Bob. Always and at all times.
If they've been used, they have holes in them,
Mm-hmm.
so you can tell if they've been used or not. But I found those interesting. They're from Japan, and then this is like it's still attached, but it's like a little puzzle with 2 tickets that made the little mini poster for Die Hard 2. These are media passes for the first Die Hard.
Look at you getting all the way. By the way, that's a question for you there, Bobbles. Is there a Wayne's World phone card?
Bob, they have like tons of movies. Look up Japanese movie phone card or movie promo. There is a world of stuff. This is see through, like with a light behind it, but it's like an overlay, which I thought was really cool. I love Die Hard and Home Alone. And then this is actually what got me digging into it because CGC actually grades them.
Wow.
And that's
I
Pop
like it.
1 on the Gem 10 of the Die Hard one. So something a little different, a little fun. You don't see it everywhere. So
Fancy.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Anything that's a little different, sure. Why not? Off the
I
beaten
like
path,
it.
but it's only Japan that did those.
I
Micronesia, no, just anywhere else there.
I think it's just Japan gives out these little promo. Like one of them is from a laser disc. I guess if you bought the laser disc of the movie, it came with a phone card in it or
Oh,
something.
gotcha.
But there's all kinds of things. I just kind of got into well, actually, that one lot that was ungraded, I found a seller over in the UK who has like a whole store of Japanese movie merchandise.
Really?
And he was showing me all the stuff he had for Die Hard and Home Alone. And so I just bought everything he had. So it's pretty reasonably priced.
There you go. There you go. Now, one thing I was going to say, just to add, kind of to what Brad was saying about about trying to get those boxes. I think secretly, Brad, I think you and I both know that you were trying to save your energy, your money, and your direction for the upcoming AEW Upper Deck Black Diamond. It's just too much. It's too exciting. I literally asked Sherry. It's like, so did Brad throw himself in front of a bus to avoid it? Like, did he jump in front of it and go, no?
I know. I did buy 2 boxes of ingrained yesterday.
And my prediction is pain. Sight unseen, my prediction is pain.
Yeah, it was not good. And then I decided to buy in some breaks with GP Sports last night.
My prediction is also pain. My prediction is also pain.
Trying to recoup its pain.
My prediction is fractionalized pain.
I know there was one spot left in a 20 box or like I don't know. It was a ton of boxes, maybe 20 or maybe 50 boxes. I don't know. It was the Florida Panthers. One spot so the break would go $150, and I was like as fast as I could. And then I fell asleep and I didn't watch the break. So I don't even know if I got a Florida Panther, but we'll see.
Oh, and Brad, you would be happy to know that the Robertson 1 is one that got sent off to be encapsulated. So thank you.
Nice. The least I can do. That's great.
Very nice. But yeah, I was dying of laughter, and I was having conversations with a few other collectors and we all are looking at it. Ingrained, obviously, is the hockey example of that, but the Black Diamond one, I was just saying like, oh, that's gonna be a bloodbath. Oh my god! It's like I literally on the Facebook group posted the Clubber Lang meme. My prediction: pain. That's my prediction. I can't even imagine the horror. I'll probably get one box just to open it up on the other YouTube channel, just because I like opening a box of it. But it's like, oh my god, I don't care what cost is. The cost is too high. Sub cost is too high. Sub cost is too high.
You could have substituted the Tyson's fight for the pain too. The pain of watching that.
That was
just.
I heard about. I didn't bother watching it. I haven't turned Netflix back on. My parents actually watched it. Carlos Senior and my mom watched it. Yeah, so they watched it, and so they told me about it. So, and we were a couple of the guys. So Eric and Yannick were actually watching it at the tail end of the live on Friday. So we were doing it, and and it was like, yeah, based on your description, I don't need to watch it. I'm good.
No, you didn't. Really?
I say,
There's actually no highlights. Really?
No.
Nothing.
apparently, a couple of the fights in the undercard were decent.
The
Yeah,
women's
actually,
fight was
those
really
were-
good.
Those were good, but
Yeah.
the fight.
So
itself was just,
at least the promoter learned the lesson of the old UFCs. Once the UFCs really got popular, they were good about making sure that they booked some good undercard fights. And that's good because then you pay good money for a pay-per-view, and if for whatever reason the main event doesn't deliver, you probably got a couple of good fights in the lead up. So it was actually worth watching the rest of the card because I don't know who these fighters are, and they would turn out to have fight of the night. And I was like, it doesn't matter. These two came in, they wanted to showcase, they wanted to show out so they could justify another job and maybe get the bonus for fight of the night. So they're fighting. So you can still have an exciting fight even if you don't know who the players are.
Mhm.
Bob Jackson has a good point there with the slap at the weigh-in being more entertaining. It at least got a Tops Now card. So that gives you an idea of where the fight went.
Yep. Yep.
Did you guys buy any of those, like the Tops Now cards for Shohei and LeBron? Or
So I did get one. I got one for Soto, and I think one for Soto, and then I got that triple Olympic card. I think those are the two I've done. I've done one for Soto, and then that triple Olympic card, and then I just got the regular Olympic. I actually sold one of those at the card show when I was set up with Bobby. I actually sold one of the LeBron, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant. I got one of those. I got a whopping $5 for it. I was super pleased. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was victims. I bought 20, which I didn't. I thought, completely. I thought I had 20 chances of getting it. So I was like, why not buy 20 of them? Now I learned that was stupid.
So this was something I was looking at the other day, and since we brought up the season ticket thing and all that, they estimated the value of that to be like $7 million or something.
Wow.
Whatever the ticket price is, but considering that most people would have to sell the tickets and the Pirates attendance is not very demanding, I don't know how many people would be willing to pay face value. But
how do you know what the team's going to look like in 2052, sir?
Yeah.
You get 30 years of season tickets. Hope springs eternal.
Yeah, well, anyways.
World champions 2047. World champs 2047.
My point is, I went on this is state based, so I can't speak for all states or Canada or anything. But I went on to the Virginia State Lottery and I wanted to see what scratch off options there were. And there is a $50 ticket right now. The top prize is $7 million. In fact, there's 3 top prizes. So it's not a 1-of-1 top prize. There's 3 people that can win $7 million. And then I looked at the odds to pull the MLB debut patch auto. There's 251 players, I think, on that checklist.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, there's 4 different products it can be pulled from. So, again, I know this isn't direct math, but I took each product's odds, added them, divided by 4 to come out with an average odd because you don't know what hell product they even put it in. So that throws another curveball in it. But anyway, it would be better odds to spend $50 on the scratch-off tickets to go for $7 million than even trying to hit the Paul Skeens 101 at what, $400 a box? Like, it's just crazy how far it's gotten out of tilt.
Yeah, for sure. But you can always ask the people who got hit by lightning, They haven't run in so many chances, and they go, yeah, I got it. So, hey, somebody's got to get it.
The odds to get hit by lightning is probably better.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure.
Damn.
Well, look, those odds are only marginally worse than getting a good pull out of a $500 UD box.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Love you. Much love. On this show, I don't need to accentuate the positive as much. On this show, and I'm not picking on any product in particular. I don't care. Brad was laughing. I don't know what product he thinks I was thinking about. I have no idea. I admit to nothing. I admit to nothing. This show is not sponsored by AMG or AMG Collectibles or the AMG Collectibles YouTube channel. I make no such ridiculous claims. I make no such claims. Friday, different story. What happens on that other channel, different story. Otherwise, I know nothing about nothing.
I got it. Oh, meanwhile, that December 29th show,
yes,
the bookings were full.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was quite surprised.
Well, I did tell you that I thought that it would probably have made, like, literally as the one show was ending, I was like, yeah, you probably would need to ask him ahead of time.
Well, I did talk to him, and I thought he would extend the room and maybe add a couple signing guests, which he really should have. But regardless, you do what you want to do. I don't like December 29th. I just don't like the weather.
Sure.
That time period will it's really tough because you still got to pay, and if it's a crappy day, then you're not going to get the people coming out. So I just don't want to risk it, and there's no refunds on your tickets. So I would rather wait for a spring or a late fall rather than having like early winter. Really, actually, it's almost midwinter. So whatever. So anyways, I don't mind missing it in that case. I will drive out if it's a nice day, but other than that, I'm not sitting up.
I think it's fair.
Well,
do they have another Hamilton show coming up before the end of the year?
Well, any long weekends coming up?
Trying to remember. I don't recall.
I don't think there is a holiday Monday that's coming up. Oh, when's Boxing Day?
Boxing Day is Boxing Day would be midweek. Because Christmas and New Year are both midweek.
Yeah. So nothing then. Nothing till February, I guess.
So I guess it's just a CSC show. I think the only CSC show might be the only other one happening at least on a like regular kind of show that we've discussed before.
You hit December, January, February. Those are the big months that you're going to get some snow. So it's really tough to even plan a show for in Canada. All the other months, you're usually pretty good for the most part. Get surprises, but regardless, safer to play the safe game than to pay out. I actually did this one show many years ago, and it was just a complete snow out, and we're just sitting there. I showed up. A lot of the other dealers didn't show up. And he said, "Spread your stuff around the table." I said, "What, for the 8 people that came through the door in the last 2 hours? Come on."
Listen, it makes sense.
It can happen.
Well, at least the upside. So actually, this reminds me, since you brought that up, indirectly about holidays and stuff like that. Not holiday, but it's obviously we got this weekend coming up here. We got Black Friday. We got all that stuff going on. So I got a quick story about Black Friday. I completely forgot that this week was Black Friday. So that's the first thing. So I was actually on Amazon, and I was on Amazon last night, and I was taking a look at something that I've been looking at for a while. I like some of the Kindles. I've had a couple different Kindles over a different time. I like the machine, but one of the ones they have is the Kindle Scribe. It's the one that you can actually write. It's got a little pen that you can have with it, and I like having that for notes and kind of things. I'm like, okay, cool. So last night I was looking at it, and they had like a little bundle and everything, and I was like, oh, okay, great. So I ordered it. And then today I got up, and then I looked at it. It's like, oh, Black Friday sale on. I'm like, fuck. So then I go look at it, and of course the damn thing is like $200 less than what I just bought. I'm like, oh
wow.
God. So the thing is, you can return an Amazon package. It's not the end of the world. Sure. But I'm like, oh, what a pain in the ass. I'm like, all right. So I have purchased a second Kindle Scribe, and when the first one comes in, it's like, that's staying in the box. Right back out the door you go.
Yep. Damn.
I was like so stupid. I completely forgot it was this week.
The funny part is we really didn't do Black Fridays until only in the last, 5 years or so, I think. Something like that.
There was Black Friday before that, but it really has picked up. The Black Friday Cyber Monday has really picked up. Basically, since around pandemic is when it really started to heat up a little more.
Yeah.
I would say.
That's next week, right? That's not this. Yeah, it's next week.
No, the Black Friday thing has already started. For Amazon, anyway. They've already started it.
Right, but Black Friday is next Friday. The actual Black Friday?
I think the official one, yeah. But I'm saying specifically since I'm talking about so Black Friday week starts now for Amazon. So for them, it's already on. So like since I had purchased the first thing there, obviously it clicked in and applied. I was like, I completely forgot it was this right around this time. I was like, oh.
Shit. Here in the States, man, some places have Black Friday in like October now.
Really?
Like, oh yes. It used to be. I don't know. Y'all.
Then
The joke is that I'm old. I get it, and I'm going to share my age a little bit here because I'm going to be a little bit different.
How young you are?
A little different?
I actually enjoy or miss being able to go out and actually Black Friday shop. Now, not with the crowd and the rush and the herd and all that, but like, go middle of the day, not ass crack of sunrise, but just go and just shop. And I like, since my kids are grown too, I miss shopping for the kids' toys and stuff like that, and that's why we've been doing the toy drives and stuff. To it allows me to have that fun of buying the little kid toys and stuff, but then making sure that they go somewhere that they're needed. But yeah, I don't like the online shopping, and I hate this Black Friday being like the full damn month because again, I get it. Like Carlos said, he saved $200 on that device,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't know if it's going to be cheaper in the store, if it's going to be cheaper. It's like too many options now, and I enjoy. I think part of it too is I don't like buying something online without actually physically knowing what it's like, in person. So I think that's part of it, but I don't know. It's not Black Friday anymore. It's like the whole damn month.
Right.
Yeah, they've extended it quite a bit, but no, you're right. As far as the regular one, Bob Jackson was saying as well. So the regular one will be. So don't worry, Brad. There is still time for you to be able to get UD Portfolio Golf. It's fine. So the good news. The good news is that sale will be forthcoming shortly. Not yet. Not yet. You didn't miss it. It's okay.
I'm finished. I'm done. 16.
Are you
boxes.
sure? Are you sure you're done, Brad? You
I-
look like a man who could use some UD Portfolio Golf. That's what I'm seeing.
No, I did 16 boxes and I'm finished. And
16?
yeah,
1
there's
6?
16 in a case. I just kept going.
I just kept going.
But when you're not enjoying, like, it's all of a sudden it turned in from something that is fun. Like, I'm doing this for fun. It became a chore.
Oh,
I was
right.
like,
Right.
oh,
for sure.
I gotta keep opening. I gotta keep opening. I was like, this is wrong. Like, if you're not getting enjoyment out of it, why am I doing that? But I kept going, obviously, because that's what addicts do. We just keep going.
That's why I said I stopped opening product, because it started to become that you had to lie to yourself that it constituted the price to have fun. Like, oh, it doesn't matter, you're not going to get your money back, but it's fun, right? And then after so long, it's like, no, getting kicked in the balls over and over and over again isn't fun. Like, this sucks.
Yeah,
And that's why I stopped opening product.
I agree, and that's why I like now I'm just on the one. You get a bigger kick in the balls. You get. I like the one. I like the one pack product. It's like
Brad just jumped to a
wait,
bigger
Brad,
boot.
wait, hold on, pause. Everyone pause. Everyone pause. So, Brad, do you prefer now the 1-pack product? You know what is a 1-pack product? Upper Deck AEW Black Diamond.
Yep. There you go.
It's a 1-pack product, Brad.
You know what? I am buying a box. I'm going to buy a box and I'm going to open it.
Brad, I'll go halvesies with you. I'll go halvesies with you on a box.
All right,
If a box finds its way into your store, I'll go halvesies with you on a box.
okay.
Either way, the result will still be pain. Just so we're all on the same page, the result will still be pain. I can guarantee.
Sure.
I know this in advance.
Yeah.
But at least it's mitigated pain because I probably know somebody who collects whatever comes out of it. So there's at least a shot. At least there's a chance.
I'm sure Steve and Sherry will have no problem. The opposite of the Topps Chrome baseball issue that I had, they will have no problem selling me some AEW Black Diamond boxes. No problem at all. So,
Well, I just assumed, from my conversation, I just assumed they had avoided. Like I said, I was just asking if you had jumped in front of a moving bus to avoid it. Just like, no, I will jump in front of this bus right now. I will not allow this.
yeah.
There you go, Brad. You can do a Black Friday promotion. Free 300 count box of cards, all junk wax base.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, listen, somebody's got to do something with all that SP Signature Legends.
Oh, update. I will be on the Gong Show.
Man, I'm mean today. I'm a lot meaner on Thursdays, Brandon. This is bad. I'm pretty mean on Fridays, but I'm really mean on Thursdays, apparently.
Well, it's your first one. We have nothing compared to.
It's true.
And like I said, update. I will be on the Gong Show on next Thursday. I guess it is.
Ooh,
Nice.
The story of the Burrell and the Gong Show continues.
Bob, you're going to keep it up. You're going to be booked every day of the week.
You would
Sometimes
think,
twice.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be crazy.
Did you make sure that they agreed to your entire retainer?
They did. They did.
Okay, this is good.
So it's going to be an interesting topic that I think that will go over very well for their audience for educational purposes only.
Wow. Sherry here says, I heard my name upstairs. Should I join or go back to watching reality TV shows? Sherry, what you need to do, and Brad and I have discussed this, what you need, and I think what AMG needs, we've all agreed, is Upper Deck AEW Black Diamond. Say it with me, people. Upper Deck AEW Black Diamond. Don't do it for me. Do it for the content gods.
Buy the case.
Look, I guarantee the amount of pain that will result from this is like 75% of UD portfolio golf. It won't be that bad. I can guarantee that. At least one of us will be entertained. UD portfolio golf, I can't even promise that. Go ahead.
Isn't this a reality TV show?
Yeah.
Is it reality?
Yeah, she just said this isn't reality TV.
This is way better than any show. Watch it. The housewives of every single possible city in the U.S. She has watched every episode. So, speaking of that, she should be down there packing because I'm going to be a bachelor this weekend. I'm going to get to come on the Friday night show.
Oh my God!
My nephew got called up. He's 16 to play for the Cape Breton Eagles. Third game in the Quebec Major Junior League tomorrow night. So he just got the call today while he was in school from the GM. Awesome. Yeah, from the GM. He played 2 games for them at the start of the season when some of their players were off to NHL camps. So the GM is named Sly Couturier, who's been around the Quebec League forever. His son is Sean Couturier, the Philly Flyers, and he's the GM, great guy, really gets along with Jacob. So Jacob was in school today it was 11 o'clock, and he got a text from Sly Couturier. It said, "Hey, give me a call ASAP." And he texted, they're not allowed to use their phones in school, so he texts Mark. He's like, "I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, he told me to call him ASAP, but I'm in class." And Mark was like, "Well, just say you're going to go to the washroom." And Jacob was like, "Well, that would not be telling the truth." And I said to Mark when I was talking, I was like, "Tell him you just got a call from the GM of the Quebec Major Junior Cape Breton Eagles. They want you to play. Like, I'm sure the teacher will let you out." So he was very excited. So we booked. My mom and Sherry are going to get on a plane tomorrow and fly to Cape Breton for the weekend to watch him play. He might get a shift. He could get 10 shifts. Who knows? But very exciting times.
So is this a situation where, Brad, with your experience, is this where you offered some sage advice on the Q? Because so I don't know if you know this, Brandon. Brad, once upon a time, he was in the Quebec Major Junior League.
Mm-hmm.
He played for I think it was the Buford Harfangs. Is that right?
We had a good discussion one night about his experience and I believe his fight that he got into.
Yep. He also had a legendary goal that is still spoken of to this day.
Absolutely, and I keep saying to Jacob, he has 2 games played, no points. So I am still the Heartland that leads all Heartlands in scoring with my 2 goals, 2 assists, 4-point career. So
and 15 penalty minutes. You got 15 penalty minutes. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I missed my 2. I had a goal and an assist with St. Hyacinthe, and Hockey DB doesn't have it. So really, it's 3 and 3.
And it also credits you for a playoff goal as well.
Yeah, I did.
Playoff goal should count as a bonus. That's a little extra.
Yeah. So I'm going to enjoy it, to see what happens. I do want him to pass me, but he can pass me next year. I'll have one more year of the reigning Heartland champ.
I think that makes sense. The chase is on. I like it. I think though it's the only thing that we're missing from it though, and this was my favorite thing about Steve, is that Steve actually had a card, and that makes me happier than words can describe. And so in the same vein, Brandon, Steve Potty, who's I think his title is general manager, isn't it, for AMG? Is that kind of how? Yeah, it's phrased general manager. So he actually had. Oh, there you go. You got the card. Hold on. Can you show that? So there it is. And what was the team again? I always forget the name.
El Paso Buzzards.
Yes, the El Paso Buzzards. That's the El Paso Buzzards. So Steve, and by the way, that card that Brad is showing is actually in Beckett. You can look it up. If you look up Steve Potty, that card is in the database, and you can in fact find it. So that right there is one thing, and I think deep down inside we all need that card. We need a graded copy of that card, perhaps even in MNT, KSA. the legends.
Look at cool
Well-
guys. Where'd I get that one? Nolan Ryan. That's
Almost as good as the Steve body card. Almost as good.
completely trim. Like it's so small. I'm like, what do I do with it? And it's
Perfect.
Nolan Ryan rookie card, right? But it's like an inch too small.
That's a bit.
Go ahead, Bobby. You were going to say something?
I was playing with the camera and stuff like that, so I was really.
Oh, gotcha.
But I did
All right,
wanna
so you were
ask,
making hand gestures.
Has there been any bids on the 79 Gretzky case?
There's definitely been bids for sure. I think it had almost cracked 1 million. Hold on, I'll find it here. Heritage
I got one
Gretzky.
box.
Yes, Heritage Gretzky case. I will see if I can find it.
Just one box.
That looks so good, Bobby. When you wrap that, is that the one you did that, right?
Yeah. I fixed it up a little bit and cleaned it up a little bit. Took a little bit of the Scotch tape off.
It's got good color.
Big time. That looks like it's just out of that BBC case.
Yes, I know. But here's actually the gem that I did pick up. There it is. I don't know if you can see it. So that's the 1951 Burke Ross display box where the wrapper boxes fit inside. So this is the only known box of its kind. That has been
Is
done.
that
51 Burke Ross had about 40 baseball cards. There was 3 hockey and a bunch of other non-sports and football. They came in the double panels and they came in those window wrapper boxes like cardboard.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways, that's
yeah,
the
I
box
like
it came in,
the.
but that's never been documented before. So I kind of.
That's actually a Jackie that I never picked up that I meant to. The Burke Ross.
Yeah.
What
Well,
do you-
actually, a lot of the Burke Ross cards are getting a lot of recognition of late. So in the last, probably since the pandemic. So.
Are you selling that, Bobby?
Yes, sir.
What's the price tag?
It's sold.
Oh, it's already sold.
Oh,
So
yes.
you're not selling it. You sold it.
Yes.
Well, that just was no fun.
That was no fun for you, Brad. You spent
No.
enough on. Okay.
I
Anyway.
was like, that's really cool. I really like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Wow.
price tag on it too. When you get into empty display boxes, some of the ones that are rare, you're looking at a lot.
I only measure value in terms of.
Oh wait,
heat.
This
hold
is
on.
a thousand
I'm cleaning my
boxes.
room out, Bobby. Hang on.
That's
Right,
go for it.
$1,000. So this is more than that times a certain number.
I think for now, Brad, I want to measure all currency, not in dollars, not in pesos, none of that. I want to measure it in UD portfolio golf boxes. I think that's how we should measure all numbers. Just
Are
go
you
with
saying I shouldn't throw these away?
I don't think so.
that. You just found some random stuff in there. Oh, is that that's the 2018 one, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Ooh.
18 update. I got the
Actually,
19
that
Prism.
might actually.
The 19 Prism with Zion. The
I actually
18
think the 18
Optic.
The 18
Oh.
update is probably pretty good because it's got because it's still got you can get Otani in there, I assume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for the
Well,
for
I
the,
mean,
for
these
the
are
one
empty.
for the two so those are the ones that are just empty, you left over.
Oh, yeah, they're empty.
All
They-
right,
they-
there you go.
Yeah. I'm cleaning crap that I've held on to that I don't need. That's why I was making a joke saying I shouldn't throw these away.
There you go. It was amazing, Bobby. The better weighty forward rookies in that set. There you go, Dom. Carlos, if I had a hockey display box, which one would you want to have? Hockey display boxes.
It's just representative usually of the year that you like or the rookie card of the year that you like, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Because this
That-
design for the Gretzky is probably one of my least favorites.
yeah, there's not much to it.
It's very
Yeah, there's not
simple.
much going on
It's
there.
got a picture that really, it's not the greatest picture. It's just, it's like the Leafs and the Canadians, and it's word.
Yeah, I actually have an answer for that, but Brad, I think you've got one in the top of your mind. What would be your? I'm going to pick one that's just based on memories that I have with the set. Personally, that would be my rationale for it, not value or anything else. Just
Yeah.
the memories I have with the set. But Brad, you have one in mind?
I know Brad's.
Honestly, I'd
You
like.
do portfolio golf?
I'd love.
Which is you could wrap it back up.
Memories. Put it back. Put it back.
54. I'd love to have a 54 tops, but I don't even know. Is there one out there, Bobby? 54 tops hockey? There must be.
Yep. Yeah. There's I think there's 2. There was a 1 cent box.
Yeah.
Because that came from Tops the first year, so they did 1 cent packs and 5 cent packs. So the 1 cent box, we've only found a partial top lid, and the 5 cent box, I think there's 2. I preserved one of them, and I heard there was a second. The one just sold, that box, and it went for Uh, 25 with a few zeros.
Yeah, I'm out. I'd like to have it, but this is my childhood favorite.
That's
The 84, 85.
Yeah, I got this out of a fresh case that Reed bought from Dave and Adams, and he had BBC wrap it out of the fresh case, and
nice.
it's my favorite. Like that's as a kid, I remember buying 83, 84 packs, but this is where I went all in at 8 years old buying these suckers. It's just one. It's probably my favorite set in the 80s.
So we opened a box of that every show at the expo for 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know that set very well. It was a great box and pack. There was a contest card, so there's an instant winner card.
Yeah.
But also you get 14 cards per pack. So it was the bang for your buck was there. That year they produced 25%, I think it was in the newspaper, 25% more cards than they have ever produced on a regular basis just for that promotion. Hockey details. It's boxes. I know it. My stuff.
Makes sense.
My jam.
Makes sense.
It's my jam. But my favorite box, I have to say, the 61 Tops. It's a very simple box, baby blue with a puck and a stick, but it's just simplistic, beautiful. Just it's iconic for hockey. Anyways, but very simplistic design. So, and I can't show you what it is because I don't have one. That's like the $10,000, $15,000 box anyway. So I'm whatever. Yeah, I don't do boxes like that. I'll wrap them though.
Oh, I'm sure.
I did wrap the.
So
There's only one known. So
there you go. So Bob was saying hockey display box. So first, I'll answer a box that I would love to have. I wouldn't open it, but a box that I would love to have. All my favorites were in 97, 98 because that was my favorite year of hockey cards, and I opened a lot of those packs from those boxes. I love the Dare to Tear Zenith. Those were fun.
Oh yeah.
They were a lot of fun. I love the gimmick. I love the concept of it. I remember opening the packs of it. They were fun for what they were. And that was a great year for some great ideas. Yeah, it was like this big black box because they're 5x7 cards. So you got to have the packs of the appropriate size for it. So it's kind of a cool thing. I also really enjoyed the Black Diamond that year. It's straightforward. It's a nice looking box. It's very sleek. It's very streamlined. There's not a lot of craziness to it. It's got Gretzky on the front of it because most of them did for Upper Deck at that time.
Yeah, that time.
And the other one that I really liked, I liked the Pinnacle Certified and Pinnacle Totally Certified 97, 98 because that was the last year the Pinnacle released its stuff. So that was right at the end of the line. Yeah. Nothing crazy about it, but just seeing the box, I can remember what it looked like, and just nostalgically, because again, I was opening those packs. It was contemporary to when I was opening a lot of them at that time. But they were pricey, and then the next year Pinnacle was gone. That was the last year, and the Pinnacle was gone. So it's all a memory at that point. So I can remember those ones, but that was a fun year. I don't remember there being any really weak set. Even the ones that were a little wacky, they were wacky, but they were fun. Like Donruss Priority Signings, or it was Donruss Priority. I think it was just Priority.
Yeah.
It was a postal theme set. You think, oh, that's ridiculous. Well, the parallel was like a postage stamp, and they die cut the outside of it like a postage stamp, and it had like the shiny foil on it. It was Stamp of Approval was the name of the parallel. Like they went into the theme really hard, and I was like, but it was a novel idea. Nobody had thought of it at the time, so I was like, what? We're gonna make the parallel look like a postage stamp and give it a shiny foil and call it Stamp of Approval. Okay. And they're numbered to 100, which means they're not easy, but they're not super difficult, so they are attainable. And at the time, you would open them up, and they had good inserts all over the place. The base cards looked nice. Like it was like there were so many good sets that year. I don't think there were too many weak ones. It was pretty solid across the board.
They were. Remember, Don Ross Preferred had the tin,
that was a good one.
The tins that were inside.
The tins, yep.
Rick Coomer that owns Grizzly Sports Cards. That's with all the wax at the shows. I'm sure you guys know Rick. Mm-hmm. I don't know how much of that Zenith Dare to Tear and the Don Ross Preferred tins for years at the expo, right up until 2020.
I'm not saying that I bought like probably a pallet worth of them at $35 a box.
Yeah.
But I bought a pallet worth of them at $35 a box. It was amazing.
Right. Is that what it was? 35? Yeah.
It was $35 at the expo. You get the gigantic tin, and inside of it you had all the little tins that were the packs. And I'm like, okay, but you could collect the player on top of the big box. So I have the Medano big box, and then you'd have the packs. There were metallic packs, and then you could get your player for that too. If they were in the big version, they would also be in the small version. And they had a blue version, a red version, and a gold version that was numbered. So you could get that. And then the cards themselves had like this kind of Dufex kind of foil. And it was really nice looking. And that year was the Marian Hossa rookie. So Marion Hossa rookie was a chase for that, and you could also get the precious metal. You could get the metal cards. That was a thing you could get for those ones.
Yeah.
When I say precious metal, I don't mean precious metal gems. I mean like precious metal, like platinum or gold or silver. You'd get the actual would have some of the metal inside the card, and you could literally buy them for $35 per hobby box. $35 Canadian per hobby box. You cannot get a blaster for that today.
No,
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Oh yeah.
It's a beautiful set. And you can see the Medano's right there on the first page. And you've got it there. He's one of the golds. And then right above him, the Lindros is a platinum. Gretzky is a platinum, I think. So it's like you've got these different tiers, but they're all part of that base set. That's the base set.
Yeah.
It's a good looking set.
Yeah, no, it did everything through it. It's awesome. It's one of my favorites. I got a lot of those sets. I forgot about.
Yeah. So that's why I say like 97, 98. It was literally available a couple of decades after in the 90s and the 2000s at $35 per hobby box. Bargain. And trust me, that was not pain. You could have a lot of fun. You could open up those things and have a lot of fun with them. And by the time you were done, you'd find some cards that you thought were cool. And at $35, you weren't out much. So you could have yourself a little bit of fun.
It's like those, eh? They're still cool.
Yeah.
The Nielsen chocolate bars came in them with the Gretzky.
That is the hardest box for me to preserve. It's because it's so tall. Oh, you still got it unopened?
Yeah. No, they're all. Yep,
I
they're
got
all.
some unopened ones. I got some of the Marios too. They
Yeah.
still smell like chocolate. I wouldn't eat them though. But there's probably
That's
enough.
what we got Eric. That's what we got Eric for.
There's enough
He can
preservatives
taste
in.
test them.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that does not smell like chocolate.
Oh.
That smells like basement mold /
Oh, that kind of smell. Yeah.
No kidding.
That's a good condition box that you have there. You got the insert in between the fork quad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Perfect.
But I think I had this. Well, I know it's faded because I had it up on. I had a bunch of boxes. It's a little yellow tinge to it now.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah.
I did have it on top shelf that was going along. It just started to fade. And I was like,
Light
"Ah,
kills. That's
Yeah.
why I always say in your collectible room you should have LED lights
yeah."
and no sunlight because it'll just it doesn't have to be direct for.
The problem is my whole house is at that time was my collectible room. Every room,
Yeah. Okay. So it didn't matter.
every room was my collectible. So I remember I had this on top of the shelf in the kitchen that overlooked the pool, and I put all my empty boxes up there because I wanted to look at them and I loved them, and I didn't. So I don't care. I mean, I wish it didn't fade, but I get to see it every time I went out. And
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Well, it comes
Makes
with a better
sense.
story now, Brad.
Yes, absolutely.
Makes sense.
This is why.
Now, Bobby, you were asking earlier about the Gretzky case.
Yes.
So I actually do have. So let's do a little screen share here. Bear with me a second. I gotta adjust it. Let's try that. That
There
should
we
work.
go.
All right. So like I said, still getting the hang of the setup. By the way, if you guys notice for the screen share, you notice we're on the opposite side. That's the way they designed it. Normally we'd be on the left, we're actually over on the right. So that's why I say
Exactly.
like I'm getting reoriented on where everything goes. But conceptually it does the job. So I'll actually make it full screen so we can see it better. There you go. But there it is. It's $1.1 million right now. Sorry, 1.26 with the buyer's premium currently.
Mhm.
So 14 days left on this one. So it is the same Gretzky case as the previous that had sold for 3.74, I think it was. So we'll see. So it has cracked $1 million, 1.26 with the buyer's premium. And I guess we'll see basically where it ends up with. I don't know. Do you guys want to take any predictions? You got 14 days left on this one. Brad, how much are we bidding for this one?
$4 million.
Ooh, there you go. Spicy. I like it.
I believe it should be worth more than the last box because, even though there's been a lot of negative press, oh, it went for too much. What do you mean it went for too much? I don't understand these people how they say it went for too much. When realistically, those are the only boxes that are 100% guaranteed. Like, hey, not taking anything away from Steve Hart, just saying that those boxes have not been searched. They haven't been done anything. You get authentication, you don't need to worry about it. The case was popped. You can see how beautiful the boxes were. So those ones, if your average box is worth $200K, those should be worth $3+.
Well,
Because
so Bobby,
you will
you
not
don't have
find
to
the board-
compromise.
you will
Steve
not-
Hart did wrap up the individual boxes.
Yes, he did that. He opened the
Yeah,
case,
coming out of the case, exactly.
wrapped them, and so the seals weren't. And it's great because those seals, well, the tape gets old and it can dry up and it can come off, and especially if you lift those boxes, they can. The design makes them contort because of the weight. And if you don't open them and lift it straight up, you do one hand thing, it'll just contort, and then that usually will compromise the tape. So whether it's been compromised or not, those boxes haven't been looked at. The packs haven't been looked at all. So those boxes should be worth far more, as yours is, Brad, too, if it is confirmed that it came from a full case. And that's what he should have wrote on the back.
Yeah, he did.
So that box, okay. So then your box, if the average box is worth, I don't know, what's it, $2,000 now for that box?
I bought that for $2,100 US.
Okay, I don't know what the box is worth right now. So, that should be worth more. It should be worth 20% more at least.
Yeah.
Because it has been unsearched and it's 100% guarantee, not even just an authenticated 100%, or whatever it is. It's never 100%, but those are 100%, and that case is 100%.
I agree, Bobby. Like, look at it from this way. Like, to me, those boxes out of that case are, I'm going to say PSA 10. Like PSA 10 boxes, box, just a single box somewhere that might have been in someone's top shelf for a while. Say it's a PSA 7. Look on a trading card that's vintage. A 7 Gretzky rookie sells for, what, $7,000 now? And a PSA 10 sold for $5 million. So in these boxes, like if you really want to compare, the premium should be a hell of a lot more than what the perception is. Like if the boxes are 5 times as much, 10 times as much, I'm like, absolutely, they should be.
And the thing is those boxes have been in that case, being stacked that way. What happens is the packs start sticking very lightly together over, in the rows. So those have not moved at all. There's no shifting. That box hasn't been here and there and everywhere. It's just the case. So they are secured 100%. Those packs, when you open them up, they're just going to be beauties, honestly. And the color will be so vibrant.
Yeah.
Just, and a peachy seal on the back with just beautiful, because we had thinner wax on our wrappers than Topps did. So they sealed so much better here than they did for Topps. All packs. Just saying.
Very nice.
History note.
Zach here says, what is this I stumble upon? Impromptu live stream? No, Eric, I'm in. Valid. That was an appeal for Brad, too. He appreciated it.
Isn't Eric in jail? Everyone keeps telling me he went to jail.
Well, the owner of Beckett, so it's a common mistake. It's basically the same person. By the way, I know
by
that
association, right?
I saw the comment earlier talking about the Beckett man being in jail, which is true. But this is the second time he was in jail before, so it didn't make a difference. Now this time, I think the one concept that maybe would be a factor is that he did promise as part of the deal to avoid even more jail time, is that he's supposed to at least try to get back some of the money that he was being fraudulent on. So it might create the motivation to sell the brands or some of the companies to somebody to get out from under it. So at least get some of the money back. Whether he's going to do that or not, that at least opens up the possibility of maybe the Beckett side of things actually being sold.
That is a company.
I don't know if they will
so right for.
Is Beckett even a profitable company anymore, thoh?
It wouldn't matter.
I think the grading part still makes money. I think the media part is dead. There's really nothing left on the media part. We were talking about it on the podcast, I think, a little bit. My opinion, if you told me I have to buy the Beckett company, I would actually offer you less. If I can have just the graded one, because they're getting like 40 or 50,000 cards, even with all the mistakes, even with all the issues, even with all the problems. Imagine if you just ran it like a normal company. You've still got some cachet left over from the branding. Clearly, some people care about that because they're still sending cards to them to this very day. Well, imagine if you ran it even competently. You don't even have to do an amazing job. Just run it competently. That would immediately push it up. Some people are begging for the opportunity to send them more cards. Why? I don't know. But some people clearly are.
If they got a new holder and a great app and they could write articles, I'd tell you their website would just be jammed with people. Again, because it would be, you are that age where I'm a little prior to that. But this is your era. So you guys are going to carry that for the next 20 years. Like the forecast of that as a business model is just ideal. Everybody loves to see somebody come back from, you can do all this bad stuff and they're happy to see you come back, especially in Hollywood. This would be the same thing too. I think Beckett coming back would be monumental if somebody really took it over who had some, Elon, I knew it. We should get him.
Do you think it would be that much though? I mean,
yes.
it might drive a little bit, but with YouTube now and everybody going there for most of their information, do you know, like, do you think it would be much? I mean, look at that
Collect decks that you can't say or pronounce or spell. Yeah.
whatever the
Darren
that guy,
Ravel.
I
Darren
can't remember
Ravel.
who it
Daryl-
was now.
yeah.
Darren Ravel.
Yeah, Ravel. I mean,
Yep.
how often
That's
does
pretty.
it even get spoken of?
Nobody. You can't even spell it. You can't remember how to spell it.
Damn you taking out the vowels. How dare you, sir?
Yeah, or Hobby News Daily, where I write for. It would, and Collectors Weekly. If you got the right people for Beckett to do the magazine online, not to distribute anymore, but to do online, it could rock. It really, it would take over again. It'd be one-stop shop, and then have a great app to go with it. I got one for sale. Just saying, and have everything online. Bang, bang, bang. Oh man, just be killer because nobody else has really done it. You got the Card Pricer, and you got the trading card database, which actually has no information, just has pictures. Yeah, no write-ups, no nothing. Anyways, and that's group funded anyways, or group
Crowdsourced.
people do it. Yeah,
Crowdsourced. Yeah.
crowdsourced. So at that point, Beckett is rife at this point in time, and I think a lot of people would really look forward for them coming back. And a new holder wouldn't be much, honestly. And then you would be back grading. They would jump up. They'd be back into the competition for third again, or second or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's third.
Just some of my opinions on the grading. If somebody did try to revive it, I think they would need a lot of overhaul. You mentioned the holder, the price. I think the price needs to change because their prices just aren't competitive with most of the companies out there. I think they need to get rid of distinguishing Beckett Vintage versus Beckett, BGS. And
BVG gone.
Well, BVG is already gone. Like BVG, I'm pretty sure is already gone away.
But what I'm saying is, if they're not putting vintage cards in BGS holders, though, are they?
I thought they went away from it.
Because I've never seen one.
Yeah, I thought they got away from it. I remember when it came in back in 2000.
I mean, it could just be nobody sending it to them. I don't know, but
that could be the case. Yeah.
I think there's got to be a lot of tweaks for them to like revitalize, because we're also in a space now where, I mean, it'd be a great comeback story to go from the top to the bottom and then climb your way back up. I would give kudos to that, to not giving up and fighting the adversity that's had them. But I think in a space now where there's a solid, like PSA's got a monster stronghold, and then to try to even, come back and take over what CGC's even doing, and they don't get a lot of credit because they're not known in the sports, and that's what we hear most about. But they're the number 2 with overall numbers with the TCG and everything. So I don't know. I think it would be a huge hill to climb. You got FCC now with PSA's money,
Yes. But I don't think there's even competition at that point. I think if they grade enough, they're fine. You don't have to be first. You don't have to be second or even third. There's lots of companies that are 4th, 5th, and 6th down the line. Take a burger joint. McDonald's sells the best. They don't have the best burgers. I'm just saying, being 4th and
you were just saying overall. Okay.
Making a ton of money doesn't really, you're not, it's not about priority here. It's really about business.
No, I misunderstood. Successful. I thought you meant that they would be coming back up into,
who cares,
and up in their ranks.
As long as they got that respect back, and then they can take it to the next step and have an online presence. I think Sports Illustrated has a lot of writers now too. I think they get them from everywhere. So, and I'm not reading anything from them. Collectors Daily. So actually having Beckett back as that past leader that we all sort of remember growing up with, and opening stuff and buying their magazines, like it's not a far stretch for them to come back in saying we're the authorities and hire the right people to get in line, and then having a great app with all their stuff on there, and for free, whatever.
Maybe we should negotiate, Bobby, with Eric.
We could.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you give him a chocolate stick, he'll give you whatever you want.
He's out for dinner. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you give Eric a chocolate stick, he'll give you whatever you want.
Pretty much.
What I was going to say is that the one thing that they did manage, that right now they are actually the only ones that have a decent spot for it. before I was getting all my checklists. So even when I'm doing the AMG thing and we're getting the new products, I would actually go to the site, or the site name escapes me right now, but I would always go to the same site to get the full breakdown and the checklists. And I think they fired, or the guy who was doing it quit. So basically, they haven't been updating their checklists in a while. So now, actually, Beckett has done a pretty good job of getting the latest. So for ingrained, so this past week I did ingrained. So when I went to go look for ingrained, the Beckett page actually had the breakdown, the mock-up cards that I needed images for, and it had the spreadsheet, including the checklist and the Excel spreadsheet checklist. So it allowed me then to go use. So now I'm using the Beckett link as the resource to get the checklist. Even if that's all you're doing, at least you're giving me a reason to go on your page and pull up one of the windows. At least you're providing some information I can use. The checklist is useful to me because I need that information.
I agree. I use Beckett Online all the time.
Mhm.
I renewed my membership 2 years ago for 8 years or whatever. I forget.
What's the max?
I was gonna say, is they got an 8-year option over there?
No, I swear. You know what? Let me just check.
All right. While you're doing that, I'm going to read Name's question. So, are you still using StreamYard? So, right now, I am trying a platform called EVMux. So, EVMux is the name of it. I'm just going to call it EVMux, and it's working pretty good. But I am getting acclimated to where everything is because it's like everything's been flipped on me.
Yeah.
Stuff that I expect to be on one side of the screen is on the other. But I'm figuring it out for the most part. It's been working pretty good. One other thing I was going to say though, Brandon was making the point about maybe making some adjustment. So, Brandon, let me pitch you an idea. So, Beckett rebrand. What if they went with a clear label and 1,000-point scale?
Ooh.
What do you think?
And yeah, and like
Innovation.
wrap the holders when they return it back to the customers.
Yeah, like a pack.
I mean,
Yeah,
people love opening packs. Look what Brad
yeah,
did. He couldn't stop.
yeah. You literally couldn't stop. He goes, "No, please stop me, please."
Brandon, tag, you're it.
Yeah, had to do it. Had no choice.
Brandon's not tagged it. No. Hey, I did get a little. What was it? Instagram. I shared it. I don't even remember what the hell it was from. I got some invite to be part of their community thing or something. I think it was just some automated thing, but yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
That
So
and
Robert here has a comment. In my opinion, Beckett has the subgrades and Black Label has some value. The Black Labels still do for certain items. Yes, they definitely do. They need to be cheaper and get really fast turnaround. They come back strong if they did that. So it would help. Making cheaper option would help. And then the fast turnaround, you need it to distinguish yourself. That's why I said if somebody bought them, simply running them as a competent company would immediately help some people. They would feel better because some of them just are comforted by the brand. So really, if all you did was do the basics correctly, that already goes a long way with a lot of folks. That would be enough. Just I send you my card. I don't have to wait a ridiculous amount of time. The price isn't ridiculous, and you get me my card back. For some folks, that's enough. And if you can do that consistently, well, there you go. You've got a customer who will send you some cards, and there's your business. So I don't even know.
there is the potential out there. We might be just talking to hear ourselves, but I really believe that there is something there. It just needs to be picked up by the right company, people, business. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll tell Eric to do a better job. So Brad, your lifetime membership to Beckett
Yes.
Online.
Yeah, May 2028 it expires, and I know I renewed it.
Credit card.
No, I bought it. It was 8. So May 20.
Brad bought the whole damn company and didn't realize it.
I was gonna say, Brad. So you're saying you could have fixed this? It could have been you.
Owner. Yep.
Yeah, but the guy's name is Alex. I don't know if anyone in the chat or you guys ever subscribed to Beckett, but like he called and called and called and called.
Oh no, you didn't answer the Beck. I hang up on. I've gotten those calls. I hang up on those dudes.
And he's like, okay, I think it was $4.99 full access for everything, and my uncle loved it, so we would share it.
Okay.
And $4.99 US, and then I think he said at one point he's like, you know what? I'll give you 7 or 8 years if you spend $1,000. I remember I went back to my uncle and I said, because Charles only paid me, he paid me X. He had this calculation, like 12% of the bill, because he thought he used it 12% of the time. It was so bizarre. I didn't
like that,
not care. I just wanted to get it because my uncle lived on Beckett Online, and I enjoyed it too. And he goes, I remember saying, I don't think. What if they're not in business? And he actually did some sort of odds to calculate the percent. It's such a great savings. You might as well take the 8 year. And now we're in on year 4. So yeah, it was worthwhile. And they're still in
Only
business.
one more Olympic cycle. Only one more Olympic cycle, but then you're gonna have to reconsider your position. I see. So I actually use the online price guide basically just for that Medano checklist that I have, so I can punch in the stuff. It works. It works for my method, but I just literally just have the one thing that I use it for.
Yeah.
It works well enough for that. I do wish they would update their database to make it more robust, though. Like there are sometimes it could use a refresh. It could use an upgrade. But if you're doing basic stuff, it's good enough to get the job done. You can build some basic checklists with it, and it's fine. But that's really the only reason I end up using it, because at least it's functional when I need it for that, just to keep track of the items. Otherwise, I'd have to set up my own spreadsheet and keep track of it that way.
But it was nice
for that.
For my Marchands, like my rookie year Marchands, you put in 2009-10 Brad Marchand, and it gives you every card from his rookie year.
Yeah.
He gets rid like I enjoy using it.
Now, there's definitely some stuff they got wrong. Let's be honest. Like, there's some stuff there that I know for a fact doesn't exist, and they've got it on the checklist. Guys, that's not a real thing. That's not a real thing at all. That card is not there.
Fellas, I'm going to jump out for the evening because I got to get some more of this mess cleaned up. I'm hoping to have this fixed by the weekend, but it's been a project. I need a couple more shelves too. So, yeah, it was good getting on chat, and this seems to work pretty good. So
far, so good. So we're going to start winding her down, but have yourself a good night. I'll finish chatting with these gentlemen for a couple of minutes, and then we'll wind her down. We'll make fun of Eric a little bit, and then we'll send everybody on their way.
Screw you, Eric.
Yeah, that's right.
Good night, guys.
See you later.
Have a good one. Take it easy. So far, so good. Not too bad, Brad. Not too bad. Seems to, like I said, the reverseness is still throwing me off a little bit. It's a little wacky for me, but it's got a lot. It's got enough going for it. And the important thing, and Bobby, you weren't here when I tested when I demonstrated a little earlier. I've still got this.
Well, it's kind of not working. Didn't work the live.
Oh, it did.
The pictures worked, but they was.
So there is actually a little feature underneath that actually allows some of the audio to come through differently for us. So it should have worked for them.
Oh, maybe it turned it down for
because
us.
When I watched the
Heard
replay,
something,
when I
but
watched
I
the
didn't-
replay, it worked fine.
Oh, mine was loud as could be.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
So that's what I mean,
Maybe
Bobby.
that's the iPhone that I have.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's I did the test run through on the podcast. It went through. It went through fine.
Okay.
So as long as they get it, they know. As long as they get it, they know.
Do you guys think that this is a weird? Yeah. No, I'm going to ask it anyway.
On the Thursday, the Thursday
got it.
live is the right time to ask.
So I'm right-handed. Do your eyes go to the right? Like if you're right-handed or left-handed more? Like I know it's on the left. It just seems it's so awkward to look up to the left. It's much easier for me to look up to my right.
So you're asking kind of a dominant hand question, and a lot of time for a lot of things are like that. So I'm left-handed, so my left hand is the dominant hand. So when I'm wearing my watch, I'm wearing it on my right hand. It's the opposite of what a lot of other folks would do.
Yeah.
So a lot of it gets reversed because left hand dominant. So for me, it's more than anything other than instinctively my eyes drift over to the right because that's where I'm expecting comments and things to be. So my brain is already, but also I've been using StreamYard for years now. So my brain is already looking over there when it actually should be looking over here.
But it's also with YouTube as well. So everything's on the right, the chat and what have you. So we're sort of predisposed to that, right?
We're predisposed to the right. It has nothing to do with my right. I don't have a dominant right looking direction. Okay.
You know what's funny though? I have a theory. From what I understand, because I watched as I was figuring out what platform I was going to try. When I settled in on this one to try it out. My understanding is I think the founder of EV Mux I think he's in France. So it could be a European thing and maybe they're doing it in reverse.
Oh.
So it could be like they're looking at it a different way, they're flipping it. So for them they put it on the left just instinctively where my brain goes to the right. It's just a theory. I'm just throwing it out there that it might be a flip thing.
The English, yes.
Yeah, it could be. Listen, driving on the other side. So like there is something to that. It could just be a situation where it's getting flipped.
I'm going to do a little research on this tonight. See what I can come up with.
So I'm just throwing that out there. It's just a thought because I go maybe their design language and the way they think of an application if they're building it from the ground up. Maybe they're looking at it through a different lens, and maybe they decide to put something in a different spot. Because even when I'm going through here doing the layers, the comments is in one tab. There is, that button that I pressed is actually in a different tab. And this one I had a little bit of fun with. I was joking with
I
Eric.
like the tab that I can move it over and see the chat, and then my thing gets. It's really good. I like this.
And I think that's good.
The other one I used to jump around and something would happen.
Oh yeah, exactly.
pretty
So
good.
maybe the app is maybe the app for the phone works a little bit better, or the
it does seem so.
experience on the phone might be better
It does,
set up.
yes.
And then Brad, like the next time, now we know. And one of the buttons that I've got on here is great. They've got a little soundboard thing. So now the next time you open Upper Deck Portfolio Golf,
A nice one. I can hear that.
yeah, so it's built right into the soundboard.
Nice.
Pretty good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I have a little soundboard. There's a couple little things in there that you can press, and it works out. So you've got it in there.
Uh-oh.
Eric needs to go get his chocolate stick.
1 second. Yes, exactly.
See? So I'm still working out the kinks. We'll figure it out. But now we know we've got a couple little things going in there. But yeah, so we'll start winding her down. So Brad, thank you for joining us. It's been a lot of fun. Glad you were able to hang out here.
No, it was awesome. I had some time. I'm trying to stay up. I was getting kind of tired, so.
You don't want to open up any
weekend
more
coming
UD
up.
and grain? They're one pack at a time.
No, no, I did enjoy opening those. I just didn't do that well, but I did enjoy
So
the.
what was the best thing you got? So in your opinion, out of what you were able to pull, did anything stand out for you?
Is it
No, I didn't add
that-
anything to my collection. To me, that's usually I can find something. When I don't add anything, that means I was really bad.
It's no justification whatsoever when you get
No, like nothing.
Yeah.
Nick Swanee autograph
Who?
card. Nick Swanee from Minnesota, and honestly it was really bad.
Great.
Probably the two worst boxes of ingrained.
So one thing I'll say, like, look, I was poking a little bit of fun earlier, and I of course I'm always going to do it, but it was a conversation that I've had with collectors and some other folks as well. And by the way, not just this product. I'm not just picking on this one only. The problem is when you're talking $400 or $500 a box, and you're getting one pack out of it, you're already super behind the eight ball. You're super behind the eight ball. So now you're looking at cars that would otherwise be, oh, that's actually pretty good. That's not bad. But then you look at, oh, but how much did I pay for that box? Oh, that's not going to get the job done.
Just
That's
tearing
not
the
even
Band-Aid
close.
off fast. That's all.
Yeah, because because they've got actually some nice legends in there as well. And I was talking when I was going through the checklist. There are some Medanos in it, so I'll actually do a little screen share. I can show you one. So this one I'm looking at, and I'm trying to figure out if I want to make an offer on it and how much I'm going to make an offer on. But I'm looking for the single. So as a single, it's not so bad. But as a purchase, it's a little bit tricky. Actually, I can just do this. That'll be easier. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
So here it is. This is autograph on the little wood piece.
Nice.
It's actually pretty neat. It's not bad. Number 25, it isn't too bad, but I do like that it's got it on the wood piece, so it's a little bit novel. It's not exactly the same
Is
as
it
all
on
the
a
other
stick
ones.
though? Is that a stick?
So I think it's probably just a manufactured wood piece. So I'll
Okay.
see if I can see the background here. Here we go.
Yeah, I
All
think
right, so
they're
let's
all
see.
manufactured.
Yeah, manufactured hockey stick. Yeah, so
Oh.
they took a piece of wood and he basically signed it.
Okay.
So it's just for the look. That's basically what they were shooting for on that.
Gotcha.
Let me pull that from the scene, and I can stop screen sharing, and I will click this. So still got to figure out how to get all those buttons to go the way I want them to. But nonetheless, it's a cool looking card. I like that it's an autograph on card. I like that. But it is, again, it's not a game use piece, and it's not claiming to be, so that's fine. So but then I gotta calculate. All right, but the box price is this much. So how much should this? And that is normally not the way you want to be doing it, but that's actually the way the market does it. The market goes because if I pull that out of a $5 a pack product, it will be priced at X.
Mhm.
Oh, but it's like, oh, but it's numbered out of 25. So we know the numbering. We know the numbering. We know what the product is. We know what it is. So here's the question, and this is something we constantly struggle with. So then, how much should it be? Because if it comes out of a $500 box or $500 pack, you're thinking one direction, but if it came out of a $20 pack, it should be the same. Technically, the item's the
No,
same,
no,
but the
because
brand is different.
the people who are paying for that and it actually ups the value because you're paying more for the box.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. What I'm saying though is the physical item didn't change. If that legendary signature shots had been inside of artifacts, which
True.
is not as expensive, that you would price it differently, and the market would price it differently, even though it is the identical card. But because it's in a $500 box of ingrained, then I have to adjust it up.
Yep.
If it was in the cup, I'd have to adjust it up again.
True.
And it's just It's the base price of the box that determines everything else.
Well, I guess it's the print run, and I don't imagine at $500 a box they're selling as many as they are for the $10 boxes, right?
No,
So
they're not. Yeah.
you know, so you know you're going to get more production, even though it's numbered out of 25. Regardless, there'll be probably 50,000 things that are numbered out of 25 if you're in a $5 to $10 box. So
Correct.
or
Exactly.
printed in excess.
And I was going to say, I did enjoy opening both boxes. It was fun. I knew what I was going into. I did it willingly, and I'm not.
What I'm hearing, Brad, is that you are now relating to your captor. The Stockholm has taken full effect.
100%.
You're like, it's like they've treated me well. It's fine. It's okay.
But when I gamble and I enjoy it, and I'm expecting to get nothing, and whatever I get is great. That's my decision. What I don't like is when a product just is no fun either. Like that. That is, I hate that. I dislike that enough.
Give me a little something.
I know.
A little something.
Give me
That's all
something
I
out
ask.
of it, right?
Yeah.
It's fair. It's fair.
Hey,
Sounds
have
good.
you guys seen? I know we got to wrap this up, but
Sure.
did you see Jonathan Taze? Sherry, I just sent it to. Jonathan Taze went for 5 weeks to India
Mm-hmm.
for healing, and he wrote a little thing on Instagram. It's really interesting. You should read it and see some of the pictures. Like he would.
I was gonna say, so is this interesting like profound or interesting like the darkness retreat? I am the darkness. because I already know enough about the darkness. So I'm good on the darkness.
Honestly, what I would say is just go. It was on Instagram. I don't know where else it is, but it's interesting. Anyone that's it was just cool to see where he seems to be getting to a better place in life because he had a lot of struggles. So
Okay, no, that's fair. I think that's reasonable. So the only thing I'll say, and so we'll start winding her down here. We'll be back, and we'll be back with a regular episode tomorrow. This was a test run, so it looks like it seems to be working. So I'll try it again tomorrow, and hopefully everything will run the way I hope it, the way I expect it to. But all I was going to say, so now we'll know. Next episode will be the normal one. This one was not sponsored by AMG in any way, shape, or form because I don't think they would have us on this one. The views expressed here are not the views of anyone else. But possibly the people on the screen. The other piece of the puzzle, though, is going to be So we'll find out in the coming week if Brad was successfully able to jump in front of a bus. Otherwise, we're going to go halvesies on an AMG Black Diamond box, and at least I can describe the pain in detail, like a headlock,
or at least half on Beckett. You know,
that'd be amazing. I would look. I would genuinely. I would go live with Brad to open that box because then I would have to explain what every one of the wrestlers are. It's like and the horror. And that was good. And the horror again. That'd be great.
We're doing it.
It's got to be good. Nope.
No, not that one. Nope. Well, they put exquisite in it, Brad. They actually used exquisite as part of it, and they actually have exquisite cards. Now, I did a video about this. Just a last thought here to leave everybody on. And this is a general piece of advice. I said it on my video, but I'm just going to repeat it. Upper Deck has many avenues of marketing. One of them isn't sending me free boxes, although honestly they should. But I'm just throwing it out there for anyone to whom it may concern. But the point is, they've got a lot of avenues of marketing. One of the last avenues of marketing is when they publish photographs from the actual manufacturer, the printers, take photos of them to show them on their Facebook page. That means these are real production cards that are going to go into the pack. So this is your last chance to show people and showcase what you have to offer as far as this product is concerned. I would maybe consider one of two things. I would get a better camera so that the cards present better. That's first. And second, I would not take pictures of cards where the sticker autograph is cut off as the real photograph of the stuff that's going to go in the packs, especially of a product that is $400 a box. It's a sticker auto because it's Black Diamond and Black Diamond does sticker autos, so that's actually consistent. So I can't give them too much flack for that, and I'm not going to. But the cutoff autographs on the ones that you're showcasing, this is your promotional material.
Really?
Yep. I went on their Facebook page and looked at it, and then I went to the Facebook group where we chatted about it, and I'm like, yep, these are the ones they put on there. I didn't do it. I went on your Facebook page, and I'm looking at the images you provided me, and they're cut off autographs on the sticker.
Yeah, it sucks.
At that point, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. I can't do anything for you. I'm sorry. Anyway, all right, so that's it for us. Back regular episode tomorrow. It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern time. Same bad time, same bad channel. Brad will be in there, and if you hear some crackling in the night, it's probably Brad opening UD Portfolio Golf. To this very day. To this very day.
We don't know what tomorrow will bring.
I'm out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. No more. I'm not even going to make a comment.
Yeah, famous last words. Famous last words. All right, folks. Have yourselves a good one. We'll catch you in the next one.
See you guys.
Yeah.